which I can get from Ford, that we have paid out this year. Okay, so, which is a good thing, but also to Paula's concern, and that's a concern also. So what they said is that if the city requests the money and receives it, then if the county already used our numbers for their allocation, they have to resubmit I can't remember the term she used, but it has to basically, if the county received monies that were Crittenden's, for example, for sheriff, then that money has to be given back.
Reimbursed.
Reimbursed to the states, not to us. So I'm gonna call again on Monday and just check in and see what the next steps are. But they have a date of the end of this month to get the ball rolling as well, because the governor wants to move forward fast with the remaining funds from the first allocation, if that makes sense. It's, you know,
But her characterization to you was that she thought we were eligible.
Yep, she did.
Mayor Skinner thought we were eligible.
And the beauty of all this is that our account or a file, the wrong wording, is active because of, you know, what's been done in the past with the 12,000, with the 50,000. So we're in good standing. Just got to submit this application form with those checks. And in my mind, there's two different entities that we've paid, the sheriff and EMS.
And EMS.
And it's, my math is about 208.
Okay.
And if, I remember the 3 or 4 things I wanted to
I
say.
mean, it's not complete yet, but it's something we need to
Sean
work
thought
on.
he could complete this by Wednesday and get it out there to them. The downside if we do nothing is the reimbursement of the reimbursement, and Crittenden gets taken off the list.
Right.
If there's yet another one that comes around, you know, another set of COVID CARES Act money. So that was the incentive that Mayor Skinner had was, okay, even if you guys don't want, go ahead and do this. Otherwise, the numbers are gonna be less for Grant County. See what I'm saying?
Won't we have to worry about an audit?
So I took this as incredibly good news, and it may have been good news for a long time, but I just didn't understand it, and I don't know how well you guys understand it, but I think we've got a path that could get us up to, I think you said 210?
208 is what
208.
we have 4 checks that were sent out,
Yeah.
2 for EMS, 2 for sheriff, and those numbers equal about 208. The EMS is an odd, you know.
Plus 53.
Well, yes, that's already in the works.
Okay.
Yeah, so 282 was our first number, original
Can't
number.
hurt to ask, so we asked.
Oh, I know.
Well, we're not gonna be out anything.
No.
They're not gonna send us a check if we're not eligible. It's not like the grant money we already spent out that we go get back.
Yeah, in the contact that Kate's been using, I can't remember Gabriel's last name, but he works for this Billy Johnson, she's a director. So it's, the right team's involved, it has been involved for months, so it's good. I mean, it's a good thing, I hope.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Goes along with the same thing. I didn't think this was an option, but now that you all bring this up, I was contacted yesterday by a local business who said that he and at least another local business would be interested in applying for the grants. They just didn't feel comfortable releasing their financial information before, but they would like to apply for the grants. I said it might be too late.
No, they can, before the 30th, right?
I'm sorry, say
Before
that.
the 30th, they have to have it in here, right?
I was told the end of the, when's the
That- no, I'm
30th?
talking
End
about-
of this.
You're talking Frankfurt, right? But
This is
Jennifer's
local
talking about
business.
this local business
Yeah.
inquiring for more monies. So
Well, they didn't apply.
Yeah,
They
so
did
originally
not.
our due date for that was October, I'm looking
Yeah.
for memory,
Uh-huh.
30th, it's October 30th, to have time to process it all.
Yeah.
And,
Right.
you know, I don't know what the next steps about will be.
Could,
The burning road for this initiative that we're talking about is the end of this week.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know the answer.
End of this Thanksgiving week?
Well, yeah, I mean, it was the 29th date I was getting, which is kind of an odd date, it's Sunday.
I know that.
So-
So if you can get it done by Wednesday and sent, we should still be able
Because
to
the
make
month, I think
time.
that was our, I think that she's saying October 30th was the deadline.
It was, yeah.
That
It was the
that was the
board's
city.
decision.
Right.
Yeah.
That was the city deadline, but the
Okay.
money's still available. So could we extend as a city the deadline for any local businesses that want to apply? Can they still do that?
Do we have that kind of time?
Well, I don't know, but I mean, my concern, and I don't know this verbatim, my concern is we're asking for monies that we spent on certain entities, reimburse it to the city, and we reopen that for local businesses that have already expired by October 30th, the request process. I don't know what the legal way of doing it, I don't know.
Can you find out for us?
It won't be through Billy Johnson, though. I think it'll be through this council. I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds like, okay.
The initiative that we're talking about here, and I'm not wanting to diminish what you're saying,
Okay,
I don't want to put brakes on that at all, because
okay,
the windfall for what we're talking about here is there's no suck money, there's no reapplication, you're basically turning in
okay.
receipts and an
Let me
explanation.
clarify that. So maybe you're asking this question differently than I received it. So we cannot go to another local business, get their request, make a decision, turn that around back to Frankfurt by November 30th. I don't think. It's not fast enough.
Okay,
But the route that Joe got the call from, that I got the call from as well,
okay,
is the fastest process and probably the safest for the city in regards to reimbursement.
okay, okay.
And Mayor Skinner, because of internal requirements and processing requirements, even though it may have been the 31st, he was really wanting us to get it in this week. He said, you're out of time if you don't get it in by this week. And Sean basically said, if I really work hard on it, I can get it by Wednesday. And
I've never filled out the request form, so
Yeah.
we'll chat more on Monday and we'll talk and then I'll get a hold of Mrs. Johnson and her team.
so just to summarize this, I think this is great news because we're not having to suspend money. And I think when we look at ourselves as a council, we are rookies at doing grants. But I think there's a whole world out there, and the key to doing this is learning from others
Yes,
and really getting a good understanding of what in the world are the requirements, how do we fit into those requirements, and how can we really take advantage of them. Just in passing with the conversation with Mayor Skinner, and Lord knows, he's on KLC, he's on a number of boards, he's a stand-up guy, I like him a lot. But he kind of whispered in my ear other grants, and it was just, they were blowing over my head. They do it in a big way. Maybe that's a challenge we should look at as,
Can I make a
can we do
suggestion?
it in a bigger way?
Can I make a suggestion? There are people in the county that are trained to write grants.
Megan Sanfos and.
And I
That's how
would
we-
find out from Greg Brockman and from Rick Skinner who writes their grants. And if it's an individual that's not part of their council or whatever, maybe you could hire them for a fee to write your grants. Because I used to write grants for Grant County for the high school, and I mean, if your terminology isn't right, they'll kick it out.
Yeah,
So I would find out who writes their grants.
yeah. Check to see if it's Megan Sanfos, Sandfoss. I
Is that-
think it is. She's helped with some charities. She did the Heritage Trail, and I don't know what else, and a delightful person.
So I would see if she would do
Yeah.
it as a, just
That
for
would
a
be great.
fee.
That would be great.
We can check on
Okay,
that.
I'll shut up now.
Danny, what you got?
My question, oh my goodness, is there some names on that committee, the COVID, that are no longer on the city that need to be replaced?
Yes.
Is that something that you need to maybe talk about right now?
What was that? I don't follow you.
I didn't follow it
you
either.
mean on the board?
On the
past
board,
of
the
these.
former mayor was on that
It said
board.
mayor, it didn't say a name, didn't it?
I think it said,
Well, I mean, the role was filled by the existing mayor that was in part there in
Okay.
October. That board is now, I guess, dispersed, I assume.
If the board,
So,
if it's useful, this is always done.
yeah, I mean,
I don't think it was by name anyway, I think it was by
it
position.
was
Okay.
by position.
Good.
And no one had a name on the original board.
okay,
Not even my name, it was clerk, treasurer.
okay,
for the city, so.
that was it.
Sean,
Yep.
you will have to get with the Secretary of State and send in that he is our mayor.
Yeah, I have to send a couple letters actually.
And Michelle.
One,
Time.
well, I have to send three, I have to send one, well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I have to send one that's, position is now vacant, new mayor appointed, new council person, well, actually, council person removed, and council person added, so probably 4 letters.
Okay.
So, is that-
Not removed, he just won't resign.
Okay.
Oh,
Anything
good,
else?
yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
and it's not on the agenda, so I don't know if I can pull this off or not, but just something to keep in mind. We had talked about doing that Christmas parade through town, and I'd like to keep on that, or,
Just do it next regular schedule meeting.
We could-
well, that's December 2nd, that's
8th.
8th.
It's just right.
Running out of time.
Yeah,
As mayor, do you mind if I go ahead and keep it moving?
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's the reason it's we're here.
Let me know if you need help.
I need help.
I'll be there to throw candy.
Okay, so, Anthony, so do we just submit, build a committee here or something?
As the mayor, how are you planning to handle the ABC administrator position? Are you,
Right now, our ABC administrator is Kate.
that's what I was wondering, yeah.
Well, I'm not sure. I'll have to look at it and see
Okay.
what we can do. To
Okay.
be honest, because I haven't even looked.
Okay.
I just want you to be the administrator at this point.
Anyway,
Anything else?
You could do a resolution terminating her appointment.
Is that something that do we want to keep her as that possibly?
We haven't even talked about.
Do we have a deadline right, we haven't talked about it, is there a deadline that we have to, the licenses are already sent out, right? So that's something we might want to see if she's still interested in doing for the city. I mean, that wasn't on the agenda, but I mean, there's a lot of questions that probably need to be asked that I don't even know what some of them are.
I agree. So that's the reason we hadn't talked about it yet. You know, we'll have to decide what we want to do in that regard.
Gotcha.
I don't want to keep everybody here all morning on Saturday, it's 9:45, so.
I'm ready.
If anybody have anything else that you want to bring up that you think we need to handle now? What we're trying to do is get a little bit organized here. Anything? Motion to adjourn?
Make a motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Second.
Congratulations.
You second?
Any discussion? Any discussion?
Motion on that, those in favor?
Aye.
Take a home.
I like that, is there any discussion after the first and second, something like that, I like that.